Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies. That sounded really artificial and stupid. Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here today, once again, to talk about Your Honor, the Showtime show. And I figured out it is a limited series, which I'm glad I figured that out so I don't look like a doofus again. I apologize for that. It's just on IMDb it said it was a TV series. It did not say limited series, and it did not have 2020 to 2020 or whatever, 2021. It just said TV series. So I apologize for that. I try not to make any mistakes, but I try to be more about like the review of the show. I'm not really concerned about like, oh, that's that person and their name is blah blah blah, and this episode was made on June 1st of blah 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 blah. Like I'm not that type of reviewer, you know. I'm the type of and here's the thing about this. This episode ruled, man. This episode was almost a perfect television episode. I mean, after so much bad TV this year, it's like, wow, finally. Like, it's December. It's taken all the way to December to get an episode this good. I mean, I would give... I'm going to reveal the cards now. I give this episode an A+. This episode was great. And let me tell you why. Because last episode, the first episode, I know I had some complaints. I still hold those complaints. I think that they're very minor types of complaints, but they kind of affected the episode. But with this episode, it was genuinely good. I mean, it was just so entertaining and engaging. There were some great characters, and as there should be on any story, movie, TV show, whatever. And the story was just so good. I mean, it's just so refreshing to see something that you're actually interested in watching, and like your eyes are stuck to the story. Like with this episode basically it's about creating an alibi for the day of the incident. And so that's kind of some of the story. And then some of the other story, which is the majority of the episode, is about the car. And basically the judge calls in a favor from the mayor, who has another guy who hires a gang kid to take the car and destroy it. And that goes wrong. I mean, almost everything in this episode goes terribly wrong. It was so great to watch. It was like, it was like a classic crime comedy drama. Like it was just like every moment it's like, oh, that went wrong. Oh, like just constantly. And you have this poor innocent kid, this poor innocent black kid named Kofi, and Kofi, I'm sorry, and he's basically getting framed for the murder, and spoiler alert, but I mean, but he's basically getting framed, and so now you have this other, because it's already bad enough that kid in the first episode got killed, Rocco, and now you have another guy who's gonna basically take the fall, so that the main kid, Adam, I really don't like Adam, by the way. I don't like him at all. He looks like a sad puppy or something. Like he's just always like he looks like Anton Yelchin, but like in fact he reminds me of Anton Yelchin a little bit. And you know, I wish it was Anton Yelchin instead. Because rest in peace to Anton Yelchin, because he was a great actor, and I don't like this kid though. I do not like Adam at all. I mean, I guess I empathize with him because I think that he was in a terrible situation, and he did not really like. I mean, he didn't leave Rocco to die. I mean, he was already dead. and he it's just it's a terrible situation. It's like this series is just one big terrible situation. Like the judge, I mean, he's going against everything that he stands by. He's going against, I mean, he's lying, he's doing all this stuff, and he's really, he did a good job in this episode as well. I liked him a lot more in this episode than the last. I don't like Adam. I'm sorry. I really don't. I don't really, I mean, I would say that the main guy that I like would be, I like that coffee kid. I mean, he was a very charismatic character, and he seems like he would be a great lead in a show. But other than that, it seems like they're going to have a little side story to do with Jimmy's daughter, and she there's this little, little stuff in school seeing her, and I think that she's going to play a part into it as well. And I can't wait to see what that is, because I hope that it's good. Because this episode, like, it was genuinely a great episode. I mean, I know a lot of the times, like, I tend to overrate things that I like with the Uncut Gems, I really overrated that movie. But I mean, this episode, it was so well written. I mean, it was just constant action, constant story, constant great lines. Well, I mean, not great lines, but like great lines that, like, that just that they're, I don't know, they're just great lines. And so yeah, I genuinely have nothing to complain about, besides the fact that, oh yeah, I don't like Adam, but also I would like to see more of Jimmy. I mean, I know that I know it's he's the villain, but I mean, to me it should be like a parallel where you have the judge and then you have Jimmy. And so far, Jimmy has, like, hardly been a part of the show at all. I mean, he's in a couple of scenes this episode. I mean, he's in some scenes where he's learning information, and he's in another scene, and that's it. I mean, he's menacing, and he's doing a great job acting, and I just wish we would see more of him. But there was a really weird scene with him. He was at home, and it was late at night, and he takes I guess it's his son's bird. He takes the bird in the back, and he tries to let it go, and the bird refuses to go. And so then he kicks the bird cage with the bird in it, and then he starts beating up the bird with the golf club. And that's another thing, too. There were some great comedic moments in this episode. Some great, darkly comedic moments like that. I mean, it reminded me honestly, it reminded me of Dumb and Dumber. Because it was even like the same type of bird. I think it was also green. I think the bird in Dumb and Dumber was green. And he's just killing this bird for just... I mean, why is it... It's... I'm sorry, but that was just insane, and I did not get that at all. But other than that, I forgot to mention, we have a new villain in the mix. Basically, he's a corrupt police sergeant, lieutenant, something. He's a corrupt policeman, and he's pretty creepy as well. I mean, there's some really great lighting in this episode too, like with that scene with the creepy the policeman, and he's sitting there in this chair, and his face he looks so evil, without, like, he's just a person, but he just looks so evil. And it's like, you really feel bad for this kid who's being framed, even more so than Adam, because Adam is really... I mean, there's this one moment where Adam almost gets himself caught basically, and he completely is just like, God, he just buckles, and he just like, oh, I'm so sorry, man, I'm so sorry. and it's like, what are you doing? It's like, that's why you gotta have Bryan Cranston. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for the next episode. This was a fantastic episode, and I don't do this often where I actually, like, am this excited. Like, I'm genuinely excited because I think that this has the potential to be the best TV show of 2020. If it is this great the rest of the way through. That being said, so far the show has had a lot of conveniences. Like the fact that this kid, Kofi, he is related to the family that the judge was helping in the first episode. And, like, lots of little, like, conveniences, like the inhaler being left behind and all that. And I really hope that the show doesn't keep on doing these conveniences, because I think at some point the conveniences could become kind of cartoony. Like in Fargo season 3, there's this episode where, well, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but it's basically this really over-the-top cartoony episode where two characters are on the run, and it's basically just Convenience City. I mean, they have no weapons. They're handcuffed together, and they kill an entire team of extremely overpowered villains who are so evil they murdered an entire prison bus of people. And it's like, really? And then they go into this bowling alley, and it's like it's some sort of a spiritual stupid thing, and it's like just convenience. And with this episode, it kind of had some of that type of, like, just like a lot of conveniences, like the fact that it was also the anniversary of the wife's death when Rocco got killed. And it's the wife's car, and it's like all these different little things. I am hoping that the show kind of moves away from that type of, like, Convenience City, because it could get cartoony if it goes there like Fargo season 3 did. But anyways, yeah, I give this episode an A+. No complaints from me. So if you like this review, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment. Tell me I'm wrong. I know that no matter if I give an episode an A or an A+, people are still going to dislike it because they're mad that I said some little thing, but, whatever. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon for part 3.